Climbing back upon Mount Soapbox for another rant. And this is news that's been out for, I think, a week now. And it's hard to believe that this game costed as much as plenty of people are alleging that it costed to make. $100 million. Some are saying it was over $100 million to make this game, which is Cringe Row, Saints Row 2022, Saints Row in name only, whatever you wish to call it. This game was made with over $100 million budget. Where's the $100 million budget in this game? All right, so what am I talking about? I know other people have been discussing this, but I wanted to bring it up as well. The fact that it's just ridiculous, the amount of money wasted on this thing, in the words of William Shatner. So this comes from Embracer Investor on Twitter. I guess they follow all the numbers and stuff for Embracer. Talked about a big loss for Embracer console segment due to high depreciation associated with underperforming release earlier in the year, particularly Saints Row, which costed more than $100 million. And a lot of gaming sites and fellow creators, big and small, have been covering this. And I just don't see it. I don't understand how this game was made on $100 million budget. Like maybe a $25 million budget, but $100 million budget, and this is the best that they could do? This piece of crap game? And the only reason why I re-downloaded it on my PS5 was to do this rant. I was debating about whether or not to just drive around in GTA Online, but then I thought, you know what, screw it. Let me re-download Saints Row and see if there's any improvements, and I don't really see any, to be honest. It looks just as bad as ever. Bear in mind, this is a game that came out this past late summer. What was it, late August 2022? So it's still technically a quote-unquote new game. And it doesn't look like a 2022 game. It doesn't look new. It looks very dated graphically. And that's not the only issue this game has. It has plenty of bugs and glitches still. And yeah, maybe they fixed some of those problems in patches, but it's all about first impressions when it comes to video games. And this game most definitely had some very, very bad first impressions. Not just with the graphics, not just with bugs and glitches, but with just about everything else. I guess the only thing that I'll say that's good about this game, if I'm being positive, is the character creator. My fiance Riley is a big fan of Hell of a Boss, and one of her favorite characters on the show is Luna. And she likes the voice actress. It happens to be the same voice actress that she selected as the boss for Saints Row. And also, by the way, the same voice actress voices Peppermint in a game I just finished a few days ago, Hi-Fi Rush. Those are probably the only two things good about this game is, you know, that the voice acting by, I think her name is Erica. I forgot what her last name is, but she's a very talented voice actress. And she was great as Peppermint. She's good as Luna in Hell of a Boss. And the character creator. But that's pretty much it when it comes to what's good about Cringe Row, Saints Row 2022, Saints Row in name only. Everything else just absolutely sucks. The graphics suck. The vehicle handling, I don't know if it's better or worse than Watch Dogs when it comes to vehicles. Maybe it's a little bit better, but that's not exactly a compliment. The gunplay kind of trash. The enemies are bullet sponges, and the story itself is awful. It's a terrible story. It doesn't even feel like a Saints Row game. And I'm not even a Saints Row like expert. Like I've played Saints Row the Third, and I did play through Saints Row 4 and Gat Out of Hell, and I played a little bit of Saints Row 2, which is apparently the best one. But I know enough about the Saints Row lore and franchise to tell you that this is not what Saints Row fans were wanting. And a lot of people were disappointed with Saints Row the moment it was announced well over a year ago. And a lot of us hoped that this game would turn out way better than the trailers. And I try to be optimistic about it because even though I'm a GTA fan, I do believe in competition, and for an open world crime game, it's hard to beat GTA. You know, whether it's a Grand Theft Auto 5, Grand Theft Auto Online, or GTA 6, whenever that comes out. And I really feel like that franchise needs legitimate competition because it would force Rockstar to actually do a better job listening to their community and fixing issues in GTA Online, especially if they had competition. Maybe not the same level as GTA, but at least something to give them a little fear. Like, oh no, we better do something. We better get our act together because eventually Saints Row is going to get better. And this was Saints Row's opportunity because we still have at least another year or two before GTA 6 comes out. Embracer, Deep Silver, I think they're under they got moved under Gearbox now because of the failure of Saints Row. But they had time to make a really solid Saints Row game, a really excellent reboot that would have been well received by veteran Saints Row fans and bring in new fans, including some GTA fans that are tired of playing GTA 5 and GTA Online for 9+ years. They're just looking for something else to play while we patiently wait for GTA 6. You could have won over a lot of people with this new Saints Row game, Embracer. But you dumped $100 million into this. I saw a number that said maybe $160 million. I don't know if that's just including marketing. I think the 100 plus is for the game itself, and then an additional nearly $60 million just to market the game. What a waste of money. What a waste of time this game was. And the only reason why people played it, like my fiance Riley and my good friend Pat, aka The Professional, and others, is just to get through it. I dedicated like one stream to this game. One lousy stinking stream. But yeah, the story's awful, and the characters, don't get me started on the characters. The sidekicks are just, they're friends that most of us wouldn't want as friends. They're pretty pathetic. And they're doing what they do because of student loans. And they're all from different gangs, and all the gangs in the game suck. All in all, Big Fat Juicy L was Cringe Row, Saints Row 2022, Saints Row in name only. And once again, how this game was budgeted for over $100 million is hard to fathom or believe. Maybe like 25, like I said. Does this look like a $100 million game to any of you? I don't even know if this will be a $25 million game. It's unfortunate because I think there's studios out there that if you were to give them, say, a $100 million budget and you told them to make a brand new, amazing open world crime game that had the potential to be like online live service as well, similar to GTA 5 and online, I'm sure there's studios out there that could take that money with a good team, dedicated, passionate developers and writers and artists, and with Unreal Engine 5, and make an amazing open world crime game that could potentially give GTA and Rockstar a run for its money. But no, Embracer chose to give the money to the team behind this filth, this trash. And you have to ask yourself, well, where did that money go? Did most of it go into the executives of Deep Silver's pockets? Were they spending it on ridiculous things around the office that they didn't need? Like, where exactly did that money go towards? Obviously, some of it went towards paying salaries for the employees and the developers that worked on this game. And I don't have a problem with most of them because they were just doing what they were told. It was just a job to them. My issue is with like the management and those at the top who made all these wonderful decisions when it came to the direction the Saints Row soft reboot was going to go. I do understand why they rebooted the game, especially if you played Saints Row 4 and the world was basically destroyed. So they kind of had no choice but to reboot Saints Row. But a lot of us were hoping that they were going to take this game back to the ground level, back to the street level, and make it actually feel like a crime game, rising up through the ranks, in the mean streets of Stillwater. By the way, Stillwater and Stillport, I know a lot of people don't like Stillport, but I like Stillport way more than Santo Elso. I'm not a fan of this map, and it's not even that big of a map, to be honest. And some of this may sound similar to, I think, a previous rant I did, so I am kind of repeating myself. But revisiting this game a few months later, I have no desire to come back to Cringe Row anytime soon. So as soon as I'm done with this rant, I'm going to close app and delete this game again from my storage on my PS5. It is so unfortunate because I think if this game would have been a success and the characters were better written and more likable, and the story, the arc, the other characters you encounter, the antagonists, without spoiling anything, if all that would have been done better, and if they would actually taken a little bit more time to get this thing out of the oven. I think they kind of rushed it out of the oven, in the words of Gordon Ramsay. It's raw. It's undercooked. It needed a bit more time. I think that's something a lot of us had mentioned at least once or twice. But yeah, this game is wrong for all the wrong reasons. And it's just a major disappointment because the franchise, Saints Row, the name Saints Row, had potential to eventually be a legit competitor to Grand Theft Auto. And Embracer, Deep Silver, they dropped that $100 million ball big time. And I have no sympathy for anyone that was involved in the decision-making process of this game. So rest in peace, Saints Row. Maybe eventually you'll get another chance. And if Saints Row ever gets another chance at a soft boot or revival, I hope that they learn from the mistakes made when it came to Cringe Row 2022 or Saints Row in name only.